Well, I'm very honored to be here at the 25th International Conference of the New Zealand Studies Association in combination with the American College of Greece. I wanted to thank both institutions for inviting me, and particularly Ian. Thank you for attending this poetry reading. It's a very special poetry reading for me because it comes from a very personal book that is going to be published very soon. It's forthcoming. You have a little summary in the abstract, in the book of abstracts at the very end of the book. But I wanted to clarify that this book explores the death of my brother in a motorbike accident back in 2001 through a journey to New Zealand that became a course of resilience and emotional growth. After 2 points suggesting the trip on a plane, the first part focuses on the persona's junked memories of the past, combining childhood memories and also memories of the accident itself. The second part, which is the longest one in the book, traces this journey through New Zealand. And through metalepsis, the persona becomes the protagonist of New Zealand culture, adapting it to that feeling of loss of the brother, of the sibling. A dialogue with New Zealand literature, film, painting, sculpture, music, cultural icons in general. And then the third part shows the return to Granada, which is my hometown in Spain, and somehow it completes the process of that emotional recovery by symbolically linking the two hemispheres and actually asking literally, who is the antipode of whom? The poems I will be reading today are selected from the second part of the book, that long New Zealand exploration. And let me clarify that they are originally written in Spanish, so I will read my own English translation of the poems, but they are originally written in Spanish. So welcome to this poetic journey through New Zealand, personal loss and emotional dislocation. I'd like to start with a poem that is the second one in the second part of the book. The title is very graphic, Jet Lag. It shows this long, horrible jet lag after going all the way down from Spain to New Zealand and waking up in that horrible students' rented room in New Zealand. This is the real picture. You can see waking up at night. In this context, you can see the little picture of my brother on the windowsill. And yeah, so this is the poetic voice. Jet lag. I open the curtain, another hemisphere. Night enters this alien bedroom, afire with jet lag, licking my wound. Your picture on the windowsill, your faded eyes set the ghosts on fire as they come after you to the other side. Did you embark with me? It's winter here. It smells of loneliness. There's no map left. There's no more paper to set for you in, and I drown in the rain of this endless night. Second poem is a dialogue with New Zealand culture, in this particular case with a sculpture by New Zealand artist Molly Moore McAllister. This 3-meter-high bronze figure wearing a full-length coral white or cloak and holding a mede, a club, is evocative of dignity and nobility. McAllister developed her ideas for the statue in consultation with the local Ngati Watau people who supported the final design, which was displayed in different parts of Auckland. Maori warrior. Here I am, fallen giant. Fighting wars without warriors, bronze monstrosity girded by people who dodged me, modern buildings that gobbled my clan and my past. Here I am, greeting my downfall, turning invisible amongst you all, despite my body, despite my cloudy grief. Wakapapa traces genealogy through the story of Rangi and Papa. You're all familiar with the myth, obviously. And here, probably the interesting thing is how I explore it in relation to that particular loss. Wakapapa. Your sandy navel sprung like a volcano, and a savage sand drenched the air with a whim. Watching the crater from above, the sky shivered and clutched at the earth until the moons howled among shadows. The bodies burned with titanic eruption, and other gods sprouted in the clay womb. Some embraces remain undimmed by myth. You left and I was crushed by blackest night. Hongi is the starting point of the next poem, obviously the traditional Maori greeting, which in this particular case explores alterity through the intimate contact of two men, Apakeha and Maori, somehow showing this necessity of connecting different cultures. Hongi. It was pouring that night, not just in the street. Your fingers drained the chamber's water and licked my soaking skin. We shared the bed like strangers, the same rain, the same regret. But the sun in your chest didn't set fire to the drum room. It was pouring that night, not just in the street. Behind remained forsaken your tribal vigor as you broke into my pupils. You opened wide gates to your world. We rubbed noses and sniffed the same breeze, the same time. It was pouring that night, not just in the street. It poured in my village and in yours. The same rain. And the ark we built outlived the flood. Back to foundational myths, in this particular case Maui, fish in New Zealand. Maui. Like a legendary hero, you forge your epic poem astride the myth, fishing for lands, stretching out the days. Yet you fail the scythe that crushed you with no fuss, with a single blow. Today I pick up your hook, sunk in memories. The ballast shivers if I drag home the island that will never quite emerge. That still beats under the rough waters of my ocean. New Zealand is the title of the next poem. I enter in dialogue with the sculpture La Nouvelle Zélande by New Zealand artist Margaret Mary Butler. You have the sculpture in the slide. New Zealand. Don't be tricked by my eyes, silent and serene. Nor by my fleshy lips, nor by my naked bust. I'm the armless island with no hiker, ethnic woman, exotic shipment, fertility hanging from the neck, fatuous and futile. Don't be tricked by my eyes, silent and serene, my eternal youth in the museums. The next two poems explore my relationship with two central writers from New Zealand that I'm very attached to. One of them obviously is Catherine Mansfield. I wrote my PhD on her and I've been researching massively on Catherine Mansfield. And then I also find the connection with her loss when she lost her brother Leslie. So the inspiration for this poem comes from letters and journals by Mansfield in relation to her brother Leslie, who died by accident during a grenade training drill in Belgium during the First World War, October 1915. Let me clarify that in Spanish the word Granada is both grenade and pomegranate, but also is the name of my hometown, Granada. So all the connections are going to be here. Let me also tell you that the final part of the poem plays with imagery used by Catherine Mansfield in her journal. Leslie, you left at the wrong time. The news burst into 1,000 pieces, still floating in the air. Gunpowder on my lips. Incredulous, I touch your letters filled with memories, scent of home, ink on your fingers. Your death was not a drill. The pomegranate spilled its seeds on you, a tin soldier without a fight, and you lying in the forest asleep. I feel wind, sea, dawn, life. I'm as dead as you are. It's useless to cry out, don't scream. Hanging in cages, on the dismal wall. We can only sing, sing. The second writer is Janet Frame. She lost, she had 4 sisters in the picture, and also 1 brother, and she lost 2 of her sisters who drowned in a lake. So here I also enter in dialogue with Frame's autobiography, An Angel at My Table, and particularly also with Brothers Grimm's fairy tale, The 12 Dancing Princesses. The title is Fairies. Fairies. 4 little girls, they dreamed in fairy tales, night princesses crossing caves and ravines, searching for ballrooms. But the tales can be treacherous, and let the sea fall from the wall, drown the girls and the wishes, cover the rotting sleepers in weeds. 4 little girls, they dreamed in fairy tales. 2 of them don't dream anymore. And I come back to bed alone, buried in corals, looking for the childhood to dance upon us with, besides, Titanic shoes. This poem, Alice, enters in dialogue with Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Actually, one of the central motifs of the poetry book is the idea of falling, just like my brother fell from the motorbike. And actually starts with a famous quote by Lewis Carroll: "Down, down, down, would that fall ever come to an end?" In this particular poem, I also enter in dialogue with several paintings. One of them is the one by Claude Monet, Field of Poppies, that you have on the top. Then also the painting by New Zealand painter Daniel Reeve. The title is Alice in Wonderland, and also with the forthcoming novel by Patrick White Award writer in Australia, Carmel, which is also titled Field of Poppies. And I would like to dedicate this poem to Carmel. Alice. The meadow bleats amid the poppies that make the pain drowsy as I sink in the verdure at the foot of the hill. If I follow this path, I might fall into your house outside the frame. Don't let the grass gulp me down and grab me out of this painting. Falling is my course. I got head first into another canvas, and though I'm grown up now, I'm still at the bottom of the lake. Same hat, same solitude. You aren't behind me. I don't feel your eyes, just the odor of blood that fills the portrait and smothers me, though you cannot smell it, mesmerized as you are by cheerful, frozen scarlet. I'd like to finish with the poem titled Christchurch, obviously as part of the New Zealand cartography that I also delineate in the book. And in this particular case, the setting is the Cathedral of Christchurch, both before and after the horrible earthquakes. Christchurch. I was hailed by the cathedral with a fairy tale that allured me like the children lost in the forest. 3 angels on the roof beat the paper wings, and I entered a tourist with no armor, no faith. I no longer feel you, brother. This house is empty, this frosted house. The earth trembled years later, devouring the sacred tiles of that old self, stoned by the lethal debris of my mind. Thank you very much.